morning, everyone. What's up, all my lions and lionesses? This is Sean Woodward, and I'm from Hawaii. I'm a Lion, and this is your daily motivational huddle. So, we've been talking about self-discipline all week this week so far, and today is going to be part 4 to that series. And I want to talk about time. Time is a big thing to be self-disciplined with, and the reason being is because without time you can't get certain things done, right? So we tend to dedicate our time into different facets in our life, right? We have our work or business, or we have personal, or we have hobbies, or we have some me time, right? We all need a little bit of me time. So we have these different aspects in our life that require time, right? Everything requires time. And time is something that we have to be very self-disciplined with, especially if we're going after some successful actions. Successful actions would be, I want to achieve this, whatever it may be, work, business, some type of goal, right? Not a target, but a goal. So we have these goals set in place, so then it's going to require time in order to achieve those. Then we have things personally, right? We have personal goals. So we also have responsibilities to kids, to your spouse, to extended family members. Maybe you have a parent that requires additional care. And that you need to supervise that additional care. There could be all these different things and aspects that will take time. And then, of course, hobbies, things that we like to do and we like to achieve, or some type of thing to get us away from going after the goals, because sometimes we need to do that. We need the time. We need to reset ourselves. And then sometimes that may be with others, that may be with friends. And then we also have time to ourselves. We have to have some dedicated time that we're just us alone and nobody else bothering us. Nobody else, with their influence or their problems or what. We're just by ourselves, because we need to be able to reset ourselves on a mental aspect, and that's what the me time is there for. But we need to make sure that we're dividing up the time appropriately. Now, some people are always I hate this term, work-life balance. I despise the term. I don't like it. It just, when I hear that, I'm like, that's an impossible feat to actually accomplish. And if you're really honest with yourselves, you never really are going to have a complete balance between the two. There are going to be at times when work is going to take up a good chunk of the time. It's going to eat up most of the time. There's going to be certain maybe days where it's just all about that. It's going to happen. Now, there's also going to be times where the life aspect, the family or the hobbies or the me time have to take precedence over the work. So there's never going to be a balance. There's always going to be given a little bit more one to the other, and sometimes it's just the way that the day functions. I'll give you an example. So yesterday, it was all about life. There was not one aspect other than the video that I shot that I actually did for anything that was either work or business related. That was it. Everything was either about family, spending time with family, or it was me time. There were some things that I did for myself yesterday. So there's going to be days where it's all about that or all about the other thing. So, and that's okay. I think people sometimes live with this guilt that they have to have this balance, and the balance always has to be there every single day or every single week. Sometimes there's just going to be certain requirements of one or the other that's going to have to take precedence over the other. And there's no such thing as a balance. It's never going to be evenly balanced all the time. So, but just know that you have to be able to figure out where you're going to spend your time and spend the time the right way. Okay, you don't want to neglect family. You don't want to neglect work. You don't want to neglect friends, and that's a difficult thing. But sometimes there's certain things that are just going to take over the time. Now the thing is you have to do it, and I think this is where it gets confused, is you have to do it with intention. I have gotten way better with this over the years. This is something that I struggle with, but I now do it with intention. If you're spending more time at work because you're not efficient enough, I should say. So if you're not efficient enough, and that's the reason why that you're dumping all your time there, that's a you problem. That's something you need to figure out. You need to become more efficient with your time there, so that way it doesn't bleed into the time elsewhere. And I think that's part of the struggle what a lot of people have, is that what they do is they are not efficient at what they do. They're not spending the time as far as in a quality aspect of it rather than a quantity aspect. If you're punching a clock and you're working 8 hours and you're working your 8 hours, then so be it. But are you really working the full 8 hours? Obviously minus breaks, so on and so forth. But you get what I'm saying. So you have to look at the quality of the time that you're spending at any of these aspects versus the quantity of time. And that goes for the same thing with spending time with family and friends, in these, and other extracurricular activities that are out there. Is it the quality or the quantity? Oh, I gotta spend 2 hours doing that. I mean, could you spend 1 hour and then just put down your phone, shut it off, and not ever check it, and just sit there and just actually spend a good hour of quality time, better than 2 hours and then checking your phone and disappearing and scrolling and doing all that? I mean, come on. Let's really be honest with ourselves on that. So these are all things to think about, but time is something that you need to be self-disciplined with and be able to execute it efficiently, and you need to execute it as far as with intention. So have a great day today. Think about that, and let's go after it today. See you guys tomorrow.